Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's topic has 3 points, and you're going to want to stick around because the third point is going to tell you exactly the one thing that you actually need the most help with. So let's get into it. Today's question is, survey, what do you need the most help with? And this is actually a question to you. Maybe you've not actually considered it. Many authors, when you first create your book, you have these ambitions. You would like to get the book onto the market, self-published or maybe traditionally published. And as you're going through this very process, you begin to understand that it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be. So as you're going, you start to put it out, you start trying to put the book together, and maybe you finally do get it onto the market, but then you're not seeing any sales. And you're thinking, I can just do this alone, I'll just figure it all out. Or maybe you need help, and you're listening to a lot of different voices, but it's so confusing. And one of the key issues you actually have to ask yourself is, what exactly do you need the most help with? And that is what we're going to answer in today's video. So, this is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, because that will help me know that this is worthwhile to you, which is what we're trying to do here. And check out below in the description and grab a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist to make sure that you are not skipping any of the steps necessary to make and get your book selling. So let's get into it. A little of this or a little of that. So when I first got started, I was under the perception that, well, how hard can this whole self-publishing thing be, right? I thought it would be super easy. I don't need any help. I can figure this out. You know, I grew up my whole life playing with programs and all sorts of stuff, and you'd buy something from the store, a stereo system or something. You just figure it out how it works. You don't really need to read the instructions or these sorts of things. And why would you call anybody? If you just invest enough time, you'll figure it out. That was my thought with self-publishing as well. But I discovered that no help equals no sales. And even worse, no help probably means not even getting your book onto the market. And so this was a huge mistake that I made. So I began to take courses. I joined forums. I learned lots of different tools that I tested out and tricks, and ended up wasting a lot of time going through all of these different efforts in order to try to get my book self-published onto the market and running ads and other things to try to see if I could get the sales up. There was a lot of time that was wasted, but this really wasn't that big of a waste, because the fact is we have to start somewhere, and the best thing is people who've already done what it is you are trying to accomplish. And when it comes to self-publishing, you should be listening to people who have self-published books and understand the difficulties with it. But people who aren't light years ahead of you, but people who are doing it on a daily basis. In my case, I'm doing it on a daily basis. I am continually going through the steps of self-publishing on a daily basis and getting out books, usually one every other, once a week, getting another book or a type of book onto the market, working with narrators and working with the Kindle version or the Ingram Spark version, and continually staying in the thing so that I also understand exactly the frustrations and the things that are necessary in order to get the book onto the market. And that is perhaps why you're watching this video right now, is trying to get a better grip on exactly what you should be doing when it comes to self-publishing if you want to do it easy. Now, there's plenty of courses and other people out there who make it difficult, but if you want to do it easy, that is the thing that this channel is all about. So I started seeing which methods work and which ones don't. And the beauty was I continued refining the process itself. And the result was I began getting a good base of books that were selling on a daily basis. And by putting more books into the queue, building a long tail of books, we continue to see the sales going up over time. And what happens is the passive income that's coming in from the books that have previously been published is used to pay for things like YouTube production and things that I'm doing right now to help even more people avoid the mistakes that I made. And this is a fantastic route that the books give you an opportunity to, assuming you can get them onto the market. But the mistake that I made was that I thought, I don't have any questions, I'll just figure it out myself. So, survey, what do you need most help with? Well, the first thing is you really need help with knowing where to get started. There are different phases of the publishing process, and we want to make sure that we're not hopping over any of the key ones that will be required if we want to see a optimized book come onto the market, and we want to see that book make some sales. So this is a very important part. Now for me, I work with, first, you just need to get your book onto the market at all. And that would mean particularly getting a Kindle version onto the market. Second, you need ads against it after that. And we don't focus on anything else. Ideally, you would get a cover and you would optimize, and you would have a good description, and you would learn things about keywords and these sorts of things. But at least if we can get the book initially written, we can optimize it later. The beauty is we can even change the title and all sorts of stuff as long as it's the Kindle version. Once it has a paperback version, then it's a little more difficult to change the title on your book. But at least initially with the Kindle, no problem. You can do all the changes afterwards. But at least getting it out there and seeing some sales happening, it will help motivate you and prepare you for the journey that's ahead, because there really is no end to what you can do with that one book. We can splinter the content and use it for social media marketing. We can turn parts of the book into parts of our blogs in order to drive additional traffic for our ideal customer and ideal reader we're trying to get. We can take the book and put it on multiple platforms. We can run different types of ads and all sorts of campaigns against this book. But we have to start somewhere, and getting started is the first thing that most people need the most help with. And I would say that's what you need to do. Do not get overwhelmed. The second thing, which is also critical and will also save you a lot of time, is knowing which tools and services you need in order to succeed with this game. I have gone through, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent on tools and courses and things in order to discover that many of these things don't work. So I have a list below in my description here where you can check out the links, my affiliate links to all of the services and the tools that I personally use to make sure that my books succeed when they get onto the market. So you can test those, take a look at those, and maybe some of them will work for you. And if you have other ones, just let me know. I'm always interested in testing out new tools. So that is very exciting for me. And the third and secret answer for today's question is always be shipping, ABS. Now, I can't remember who exactly did this. Let me know below if you remember who was the one who originally said this, but this always be shipping, meaning shipping a product out. In this case, it would be your books, right? In my case, it might be books and my YouTube videos and courses and these sorts of things. But in your case, it would be getting your books out onto the market. And so what you want to do is you want to ask yourself how you're using your day in terms of moving that forward to get more of your books onto the market. If you don't have your first book onto the market, what can you do today that will get you closer to that goal? Don't worry about all the marketing and all of the other stuff until we have achieved the first goal. As many of my former students would be able to tell you, when you first ask the question about, well, what should I do? What would I advise somebody? I would ask, do you have your Kindle book out? And they would say, well, what do you mean? I'm working on marketing and building an audience, all of these sorts of things. And I would say, that's a waste of time. You need to first focus on getting your Kindle book out. And if you don't know how to do that, well, you can watch some of my other videos where we discuss a little bit of that. So that's just a little bit of the skills and the things that I have found to be very effective. So what do you need most help with? Go ahead and write it below in the comments, and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.